when Biden said this just last week?
If you watch the news recently, you might think the shelves in all our stores are empty across the country, that parents won't be able to get presents for their children on this holiday season. But here's the deal. For the vast majority of the country, that's not what's happening.
And those news programs that are just so triggering to Biden, well, he's making a list and checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice.
I said that yesterday, and then I saw a couple of your stations put on, you found some empty shelves.
Found some empty shelves? Actually, Biden, members of the news media aren't the only ones finding them. The majority of Americans are. In fact, 53% can't find groceries, 50% can't find consumer goods at retail or online stores, and 52% are suffering delays if they are lucky enough to find the products they need. So how hard does this make Christmas shopping this year?
Supposedly high-tech pets are popular this year, but because of the nation's chip shortage, shoppers may struggle to find items like this, Moji, and this is that lovable Labradoodle that responds to voice commands. Also because of the chip shortage, it continues to affect iPhone production right now, so if iPhone 13, is on the kids' list, that may be something that you struggle to find. And tiny TV classics, which are, these mini televisions that play classic shows and movies, they're likely going to be hard to find on shelves as well. But this may be the part that hurt me the most, okay? Grocery stores struggling to keep frozen baked goods in stock. And if you're having a holiday party, there's a 15% chance you won't find cookies or crackers.
But it's not just items on your Christmas list you'll be having to check twice. Ever crave some cream cheese with your bagel?
Don't even dare call it a bagel unless it's a New York bagel. And don't call it a bagel without cream cheese.
We have espresso, jalapeno cheddar, birthday cake. We don't have our cream cheese sent in. We batch everything here in our prep area downstairs. So whatever pops into our head, we can make.
But New Yorkers beware. The supply chain issues are now threatening a New York institution.
And this will probably get us to about Wednesday. So maybe late tomorrow.
So how are New Yorkers reacting to this cream cheese shortage? Actually, not too well.
We can take shortages in automobiles, we can take it on semiconductors, but when it comes to our cream cheese, we're now getting worried as well, because for 3 weeks now, apparently the bagel shops of New York City especially have been running low on stocks. Now, the shops are blaming the suppliers. The suppliers are blaming the manufacturers. The manufacturers are saying it's because of greater demand at home and problem getting hold of truckers. But we don't want excuses. We want cream cheese. And this is the problem as well. So a lot of shortages we can all take, but if we can't get our salmon and cream cheese bagels with a hint of lemon and pepper, then there are worries out there, aren't there, Francis? Aren't there, Philip? This one's got me worried.
Just ask anyone in New York how they feel about this. And Democrats, get ready to be smeared. Or is it schmeared?
Everybody's freaking out.
It's kind of scary.
I'll try the best I can.
I don't know, like some kind of Andrew Yang, Bill de Blasio strangeness, right?
So what I'm being told from my suppliers, there's a big issue with trucking, getting Class A truckers. And we're also being told that the shipping containers, because we get these big 100-pound, 50-pound blocks. So my guys are telling me those are all like stuck on ships, like, in ports.
2 months ago, it was a flour shortage.
That one was scary, because that's like a knockout punch.
But that's New York. Remember, as Biden said, this isn't happening everywhere. Okay, what about Virginia?
FDA says there are 111 drugs on back order, including cancer drugs, heart medications, and antibiotics. A situation Buford Road Pharmacy is feeling the impacts of.
It's happening in the prescription side. It's happening in over-the-counter, which is OTC side. There's medications that people take regularly as maintenance medications, and you see those medications being allocated or not available. If you order 20 of them, you only get 5 of it because you're allocated that. Because, nationwide there's a shortage.
But that's Virginia. Okay, so what about, say, Minnesota?
Alan Russell isn't taking tires for granted this year.
Getting kind of hard to find some stuff right now.
The store manager at Tires Plus in Hopkins says struggles in manufacturing have disrupted the supply chain.
I got a shelf full of alternatives up there, but our tire plants are down right now. A lot of it's because of COVID. Yeah, we can't keep them in stock.
Appointments for new tires are hard to come by.
Some places are a week out. Some places are 2 weeks out. I mean, right now we're 3 to 4 days out. Last week we were 2 weeks out.
But is he alone in facing these shortages? No, here's another store manager in Minnesota who is just worried about tires.
A few doors down at Meineke Hopkins, store manager Dan Beeman has noticed the same tire trends.
They're also getting to be another commodity that is getting harder to find.
But that's not the most challenging part for him.
Biggest shortages we're seeing right now are rotors and brake pads.
So Beeman has been shopping around a lot to find parts.
It's getting to the point where I try to use one vendor, but I'm using 3 or 4 vendors just to complete a brake job. It's tough.
It's tough, all right. But what is the Democrats' solution to all this? Stop watching the news. What are they going to say next? Stop going to the grocery store, the bagel shop, the pharmacy, the mechanics. The fact is, the failures of this administration are everywhere we look. We can't avoid them. And sadly, that is a real story. Joining us now with his reaction, longtime advisor and appointee of President Trump's, Bruce Lavelle. Bruce, what are they going to say next? We can't take cameras into stores because apparently they think people only see this on the media, but people actually live in these communities.
Yeah, and thanks for having me, Natalie. Listen, I'm a retailer for over 27 years, and my colleagues are retailers in our industry. And I'm here to tell you, listen, way back earlier on when all this went down, when Biden took the White House, we saw a downtrend on consumer confidence. And also, if you remember, all during the 4-year tenure of President Trump, it was a constant he constantly advocated trying to bring back American manufacturing, the key word there. Natalie, I know I'm not as old as I look or young as I look or whatever, but the RCAs, the Zeniths, all those famous American name brands, made in America, by America, that's the only antidote. What you're seeing with these empty shelves right now, this is a reflection of consumer confidence. You heard them talk about the trucking, the over-regulations, the high fuel, the inflation that's coming up on us. These are all the contributing factors is what you see on these empty shelves. You cut the Keystone pipeline. We were oil independent. Look where we're at now. Look at the gas prices of $4.50 a gallon in certain places of the country. So all of these play into this role. And I hate to say this, it's going to keep trending like this if we don't get our consumer confidence back and we don't get this famous word that the president kept constantly saying for decades and decades, trying to unravel that horrible NAFTA deal that essentially start putting it in this place where we're having to rely on our foreign adversaries on our supply chain when we should be building this made in America by America, Natalie.
It's so sad to see, really, when you go state by state, all these different shortages. Yeah, people are facing different types of shortages, but when you talk about medicine, we talk about gas. But in Virginia, the fact that they're actually having shortages, they're having to tell patients to call their doctors and try to get different kinds of prescriptions. Why isn't anyone talking about this? This isn't just running out of cream cheese or tires, which, again, where are you supposed to go if you can't drive? But gas prices are a problem. People's lives, not just normal life, but people's lives really are on the line in this.
Yeah, and listen, my prayers is hopefully we'll have a readjustment, as I might say, in the 2022 midterms, and not to mention another total overhaul adjustment in 2024. And that's the only antidote that I see. And we talked about this earlier, Natalie, in our earlier shows, that, this is all starting local grassroots, from your city council, your commissioner, to your governor, to everything else that affects you locally on your local control, how your retail operations are going in your community, how your commerce is being moved in and out. It all starts from a grassroots initiative. But unfortunately, as I said earlier in the segment, the consumer confidence is at an all-time low. You see the threatening situations going on in Ukraine and Russia flexing up on President Biden about invading the Ukraine. You saw the dismal situation that went on in Afghanistan. Are you kidding me? Here's a good question, Natalie. I wonder on this particular topic if those tanks and helicopters and things that the Biden administration abandoned in Afghanistan, I wonder if they're being sold over there to Putin so he could go invade the Ukraine. I don't know. Who knows? But these are the lists with our borders. And listen, they've kind of stopped talking about the borders. I'm a Texan. I got friends in Texas. It is still dismal, not to mention, like I said, the inflation. So these are the hardline contributing factors that's, I hate to say it like this on your show, Sister Natalie, destroying our great nation. So the reformation is coming, hopefully in 2022 as well as 2024. That's my prayer.
And people, when you think about it, kids really are going to learn a lot about politics this Christmas, because when they find out that Santa is impacted by Biden, it's just, this is not right. This is not fair to the American people. We know how we voted November 3rd. We know what direction we wanted our country to go in, and the direction it's going in now, it's a frightening thing to see, but people, they can't avoid it. There's no way the news media could cover this up. There's no way Biden can cover this up. People are living it. But Bruce, we always love getting to see you. Merry Christmas. Every time we see you, we're going to see you before Christmas, but Merry Christmas, because the spirit of Christmas is still alive, even though presents may be a little bit different this year.
Yeah, thanks for having me. And you know what? We say grace, we say amen, and we say Merry Christmas.
Amen, Bruce. Always great to see you. We'll see you soon.
Thanks for having me.